or better, but that gave time for the Keeper of the Light being able to come in with the Illuminate and get the extra burst out. But in the meantime, down in bottom lane, Waga's still farming, so he's really keeping up with those last hits and pulling ahead a bit as well.
He's got his Midas up, sitting on top of 800 gold. He's level 7, so he's got max rank of that time lock. So it's a really, really high damage skill now that the time lock itself does extra damage when you're inside a Chronosphere. I think a lot of people underestimate Void's damage output with just a little bit of attack speed. All you need is 2 or 3 bashes, and you can outright kill a hero, even the tankier ones. So that's something that Scandal is going to have to keep in mind as he lanes against this solo Void. And he's being forced back to base for the moment. He's already level 6, which is something else that we talked about a little bit earlier. Is you can't really zone him out that effectively. It's a Darkseer, and you don't have any inherent disables other than a disruption. And to open it, you basically have to hit him if he has a surge on. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it. Here comes a stun and boat combo, and he instantly kills Vigas in mid. Very nicely done by Singh. Abuses the fog. Empire had no vision whatsoever. The Torrent boat and the Tidebringer more than enough to get the kill, and QPandas takes back their kill lead 3-2.
Yeah. And like you were talking about in bottom lane with Waga farming, one thing that I actually do really like with him laning up against his Darkseer, going for that Midas, being able to use Midas on the Iron Shell creep, just removing that harassment out and making me able to free farm a bit more. And then of course the backtrack helping out quite a bit to be able to survive. As we can see in top lane now, Empire actually going for that tower push. It looks like they should be able to get this tower down.
Another disruption mid. We're going to see Salon in a bit of trouble. Here comes a Torrent. It's going to be off the mark, but doesn't matter. Many there with the Test of Faith. Manages to secure himself another kill. In the meantime, Empire get the tier 1 top. Looks like Godblack is going to go ahead and pick up that kill. We're going to have a quick pause, but so far, it seems like QPandas are getting a little bit better of the laning phase. Of course, the tower gold going to be a little indicative of Empire being ahead in that department, but as time goes on, we can't rely so much on just the golden experience. It's going to be more about what heroes that QPanda have picked. We talk about Void, his carry potential, having the Chronosphere, and what implications that has during the mid to late game phases.
Yeah, being up to 1500 gold already after picking up that Midas, and it's only 8 minutes into the game, almost 9 minutes into the game, so he's getting very, very good farm on this Void. Like we were saying, free farming, so up to almost 60 last hits right now. And he's going to be able to have a really good impact on the mid game if he wants to be able to fight, since his farm is going to be so good. And that's going to help them out, just being able to set up even better boats as well, and torrents. As we can see him jumping in on Scandal right now.
And Scandal trying to run away here. He does, I do believe he has Surge, but he's going to get netted in place, and yeah, they're not going to pursue this too heavily. There is just no way they could kill him. They don't have enough damage. They would have needed a Chronosphere and probably an additional hero to take Scandal out. But right now, Scandal's actually doing pretty well. I mean, he's got 41 CS. And I'm not really sure at the moment if he's going to be going for the mech, if he's going to let the Keeper of the Light do that. Against a team like QPandas, you're definitely going to want the mech. There is enough AoE damage to probably warrant that. Don't think they're probably going to be getting a pipe or anything. But Singh, in the meantime, he was sitting on top of about 1,400 gold. He was doing pretty well for himself. And QPandas haven't really pressured the tier 1 that much, which is a little bit strange. When you see a Chen, sure, ganking is always going to be really great, as we can see the War of the Wards going on over here. The Troll Warlord trying to get that high ground ward, but they might just try to go for a kill. Luckily, Scandal's up on the high ground to surge Silent out of position. And yep, there goes a ward. Looks like Silent actually tried to deny his own ward, so that was a little bit silly, but QPandas getting a little bit better of the warding here, too. If you look at the map right now, there's basically no vision on the side of Empire at all. That was their last ward, and they just placed it. So it's actually a pretty huge deal to be playing against a team where you have the initiation advantage, but you don't have the vision to abuse it.
Yeah, and like you were saying, you were a bit surprised to see that QPAD didn't really have started the push down in bottom lane, but it's still understandable. Keeper of the Light being level 6, he's going to be able to counter push that quite hard, as well as having the Darkseer there with the Iron Shells. It's very hard to push into that, even though if you have the
hook shot on mid lane, Vigas might be in some trouble. Here comes the Torrent. He will not be able to use Phase Shift to dodge it. And Singh picks up another kill. Very nicely done by Select. Again, abusing the fact that Empire are completely blind right now.
Yeah, great rotation coming in from him. Since the lane is quite pushed in top, being able to come in, they didn't really know if he was there. Like I was saying, it's being pushed up, so Select obviously is going to back out. Doesn't want to be able to get killed up in top lane, and rotating into mid, getting a really good kill. So it's looking good though for Pandas right now. Alchemist catching up on farm though quite a bit. He's pretty much even now in last hits though. Void having that minus is going to help him out, since Alchemist got that Grievous Greed.
Shadowblade now done on the Alchemist as well. It's being flown out to him as we speak. And we also saw that Scandal is indeed working on a mech, so he'll have that done relatively quick. And this is the part in the game where it becomes a little bit scary for QPADs, because the initiation of a max rank Unstable Concoction and a Shadowblade, that kind of burst damage is something that you really can't underestimate. So they're going to have to make sure that they're ready for Empire's aggression and they're ready for any initiation that they want to take. We can see that Silent is being pretty adamant here about getting some vision up, and looks like they're going to prioritize mid pretty heavily. We're going to see a coil go off, double damage on Vigas. Here comes the boat. He's going to try to give himself a little bit of damage reduction. Instant reaction coming out of QPAD. Disruption goes off actually on Sing, and the rest of Empire is forced to retreat. Hookshot in the river by Select. He's going to be able to catch out Silent. That's going to be a free kill. Not enough damage follow-up, but can they pick Select? They can, with help of the Medallion and the Soul Assumption coming out of Goblak. So that's killing spree for him, but ultimately they go 1-for-1, trading a support for the offlaner.
Yeah, and that's a really good trade for Empire, actually. Losing a support for the offlaner is very good. Though Sing being able to stay alive with this amount of gold that he got 2.5k right now. So I do wonder what he want to go for, if he wants to go for that Shadowblade or if he wants to move into something like a Vanguard Urn. But it's going to be very interesting to see that. But on the other hand, like we saw before, Alchemist being up on top lane, just putting pressure on the tier 2 right now.
Yeah, so we're also going to see a kill bottom as Scandal gets picked off by the Faceless Void and Jerax. So another kill going the way of QPAD is this time to the carry, and Wagget's farm continues to just be completely monstrous. And he picks up a Glove of Haste, so I'm assuming that means he's going to be going for the Maelstrom into Mjolnir build. Maybe he'll get something else instead of finishing up the full Mjolnir. Some people actually prioritize getting more damage, like a Crystallis or maybe even a Mask of Madness. Depends on the situation, but I don't think he's going to be making a Mask of Madness here.
Feels like Mask of Madness could be a really bad decision going up against the Visage. If you get a full Soul Assumption out, that's pretty much going to one-shot him through the Mask of Madness. So it could be very bad. On the other hand, if he catches the Visage in the Chronosphere, it could be good as well. So we'll really have to see what he wants to go for. Could even go into an AC to get that attack speed and get some minus armor going up against the Alchemist as well. Since the Alchemist being very tanky in his ultimate could be very helpful with an AC getting some extra minus armor as well as the attack speed.
I like this build from Wagga especially because if you look at the side of Empire, none of those heroes outside of maybe the Alchemist are going to get anything like a BKB. So in terms of the late game, Void needs two things. He needs attack speed and he needs a decent amount of survivability. I mean, damage is going to be nice, but if you can get damage and attack speed in the same item, that's pretty much what the Mjolnir is for. It's perfect in that sense. And if you get a couple of good time locks, your damage output's still going to be tremendously high. So the damage effectiveness of that item is always going to be there pretty much for this game. So game is resumed. It looks like we had the reconnect there by Silent, and only still one tower down, and the tower going to be going the side of Empire. But you can still get this looming sense of Empire isn't really pressuring anything directly. They're kind of just sitting on their side of the map. They're content to go back and farm. And against a hero like Void, I'm not sure if that's the best idea.
Yeah, they're really just sitting back a bit, semi-pushing, going for a push mid right now. It feels like QPAD should be able to defend this quite well, though. They got Torrent as well as the boat if they want to, but still, they're not really getting anything out of it. Concoction going out down in bottom lane. Wagga's gonna jump out and being able to dodge that. But they're really giving a lot of room to this Void to farm and pretty much helping him getting into mid game, being able to be a strong hero once we move into the mid game, and we're gonna see more fighting coming there or coming the way.
Well, we're going to see Wagga still kind of hanging around bottom. Singh has finished up his Shadow Blade, but he walks right past the sentries, so unfortunately this is not going to be working out too well for QPAD, as an Empire, of course, had their Keeper of the Light come there a little bit earlier and place an Observer on the high ground. So they are getting a little bit of vision back in comparison to QPAD. They're still lacking a bit. You can see the safe lane ward coming out, completely protecting Wagga for the moment. There's not going to be any ganks coming his way, and Shadow Demon is even still sitting around there just in case, and Scandal only able to do some double ion chilling and being forced back. He is going to get disrupted right here. Soul Catcher comes off. Jerax doing a bit of damage. He will be able to land the Purge, but it looks like Wagga is not interested in pursuing at all. He's kind of just sitting back and farming at his tower.
Yeah, great decision though there from Scandal, popping or TPing out instead of trying to stay there and running away from the Purge, because the Purge is going to do a lot of damage with level 3 Soul Catcher as well as getting some Shadow Poison out. Shadow Demon is very good at picking off heroes like that if they're not careful enough, but Scandal TPing out straight away, that's going to help him to be able to survive and then come back into the lane. He's actually going into the jungle to farm instead, but should be able to come down to bottom lane soon and try and disrupt Wagga's farm again.
Well, this is a little bit more passive of a game than I think we were both expecting. It's 15 minutes in, and Empire really only has 3 kills on the board. Another sentry going to be going down. Jerax counterwarding what little vision Empire had left on their side of the river. And when you have a Puck and you have an Alchemist who rushed a Shadow Blade and a Visage, the burst damage output on the side of Empire is still quite high. They could very easily burst somebody like the Kunkka. Even the Clockwork, we saw him get absolutely melted because of the Medallion on Goblak. So we know that the potential is there to go for kills. It just feels like they're reluctant to try to engage.
Yeah, and QPAD really taking advantage of this passive game, just trying to farm up and get their heroes as strong as possible before they actually want to try and go for fight. Because it feels like
mid. Sing going to be eating an Illuminate here, but sorry, I thought there was going to be a fight, but I guess not.
Yeah, but it feels like they, as soon as we see either the Maelstrom or another big item coming up from Waga, they might actually just want to try and 5-man up and go for either bottom, like we see a lot of people actually moving down to bottom right now, so they should be able to go for that, or go for mid as well after that if they want to. Maelstrom, as it looks like, is on the way out for Waga right now.
More damage coming the way of Faceless Void. As we can see, most of the QPADs are actually kind of doing their own thing, very similar to what Empire have been doing. It seems like both teams just sitting 2 or 3 heroes behind their mid and kind of just hanging out. Not really the most efficient mid game, but this kind of happens when you're up against a team that you might not have the most extensive experience against. You're not really sure what to do in a lot of situations, and I kind of get the feeling both teams are kind of feeling that way. But in QPanda's side of the match, you have a hero who's going to be able to carry late game to the utmost. As long as the spheres are there, as long as the boat's there, you know the late game potential is going to be absolutely monstrous. So Empire, again, I feel like they should be the ones trying to play the aggressor in the situation. Maybe even go for something sneaky like smoke in, go for Roche. But then again, QPAD have been so diligent about counterwarding that I'm not even sure if they would have the opportunity. And of course, we've been talking quite a bit here, but it looks like we have other people that we want to add to the cast. Bruno, what's up, man?
Well, there's a lull in the game. We just set up a new poll, so you can vote. Who's going to have more kills at the end of the game? Is it Faceless Void, Kunkka, or Alchemist?
Oh, hook shot, bottom lane, Boyer Brain, gonna pop the Chemical Rage. There is gonna be an orb coming from the back from the Puck, but is there any detection? It looks like Waga goes in with Time Leap, but he doesn't know that the Alchemist is there and ends up not using his Chronosphere.
And on the other hand, Jerax is actually getting attacked by Goblak over here, but it doesn't look like anything is going to come out of this. They're really trying to get something going.
There's the axe, and a really nice Chronosphere actually catches all 3. Here comes Kunkka, and they're going to get vacuumed into their own Chronosphere. The Hand of God goes off, and it looks like QPAD want to try to counter-engage. This Alchemist already down. Empire on full retreat. The Illuminate comes out just to make some space for them, but a very, very nice Sphere coming out of Waga, and QPAD take another kill, and they might even go for the Tier 1.
Yeah, and getting a kill on the Alchemist, and that's in that position as well. Since Empire trying to go for an aggression, Alchemist going down there, losing their carry is going to hurt them quite a bit. As we can see, the poll just finished, and I believe it said that Kunkka is going to get the most kills at the end. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that if we can see some more farm coming the way of Sing, getting some big items up. He might even be able to get some lucky crits.
Big items, big crits, courtesy of the Tidebringer. And you know what's really interesting about that poll is, the way I see it is he has to have, what, 3 or 4 times the amount of kills than anyone else, because the Alchemist was only at like 100 and he was almost at 4. So that's definitely how it works. But Empire going to be scouted out here by the Rocket. So QPandas know that they're doing Roshan, but they're doing it quite fast. They have Acid Spray. They also have that Medallion. Sing comes in, throws out a Torrent. It's going to connect on 2, hit Scandal. The boat's going to come in afterwards as well. Roshan quite low. Here comes Waga. He gets the kill. No, actually Sing gets a kill on Scandal, as Alchemist does get the Aegis. He's trying to go and retreat. Big Illuminate hits a majority of QPandas. They also get blinded. Waga going to be trying to step back home. He will make it back to base because of Mini, and it looks like a triple kill going the way of Sing. The Alchemist is going to lose his Aegis. He's going to be respawning in just a second. Do they have enough in the tank to actually kill Blow Your Brain one more time? QPanda all getting away with such low health. I cannot believe the fight is going so well for them. And Sing, oh no, Blow Your Brain going to stun himself with the Unstable Concoction. Does Sing actually know he's there? Shadow Blade going to be wearing off here. Jerax has not enough mana to disrupt, but will throw out the very menacing Soul Catcher and then walk away.
Yeah, and Chemical Rage coming up as well, so the damage wouldn't be there. But a great fight coming the way of QPAD there. They get the Aegis as well as a triple kill on the Kunkka, and they managed to send the Faceless Void back to their base. Being able to survive that was just a huge fight going the way of QPAD, and they really got a very good engagement there. getting the torrent as well as the boat into the pit, getting a good Tidebringer as well as one hit, just killing off the Darkseer straight away. So Darkseer didn't actually have any impact whatsoever. Doesn't have wall up, but still could have been able to have an Iron Shell or two out in that fight, as well as getting a vacuum out. Would have done quite a lot of damage, but nothing coming the way of him, and just overall great fight coming for going for the way of QPAD.
Well, like you were saying at the beginning of the cast, that boat buff, man, that makes a tremendous difference. What happens if that Illuminate hits you and you still didn't have the buff? What happens if you don't have the Hand of God and the mech coming out of the Chen? The fight could have been very, very different, but very well played by Mini, timing everything essentially perfectly. And I'm a bit surprised that Empire got seemingly caught out so badly by that. It felt to me that they didn't have any vision, of course, but when you take a fight around Roshan, you don't necessarily want to stand right on top of each other when you're playing against these kinds of heroes.
Yeah, and I'm a bit surprised to see that actually, that they went for that Roche. They probably actually knew that the wards were up there since they most likely smoked in, but still, it looked like Goblak was actually standing outside the pit, so they were shown that he was actually there, but it felt like kind of a bad decision of Empire to go in there. I mean, like we were saying, they got the Aegis, but they still lost it straight away and lost 3 extra heroes, so overall it was kind of a weird decision, but still, just the fight, QPAD playing it out very well as well, not just counting the mistakes of Empire.
We can see Jerax doing some more counter warding, manages to get rid of even more vision. You know, I gotta say, I don't think I've seen as much effective counter warding out of a lot of teams that I've seen out of QPandas here today. Like, he has seriously counter warded, what, like 5 or 6 or something like that? There is just no vision on the side of Empire. And what good is all that initiation going to get you when you can't ever take a fight because you're unsure of what you're actually getting yourself into? So I feel like that's had a gigantic impact on the game so far. Obviously, Waga has been completely unobstructed in his farm. He's sitting at the highest GPM at 463. He's still beating out the Alchemist, and there haven't really been that many tower kills as of yet. In fact, Empire haven't lost a tower, and it's 22.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, like I was saying before though, QPAD just taking the time of Empire running between lanes, trying to set up kills, just taking that time to farm up their own heroes and seeing if they can get the most amount of farm as possible. And a bit surprised that Singh didn't go for that deny. It was quite an obvious when the deny would be able to do, but actually miss out on the kill in bottom where they managed to pick off the Alchemist again. Chronosphere being used out of Wagamama and the damage just being there from Clockwork as well as Shane.
And getting Blow Your Brain off the map once again. He's had a handful of, I would say, awkward deaths, to say the least, especially when he was trying to chase down Singh after the Roshan engagement. If he had died there, that would have just been downright silly. But fortunately, in that situation, he got away. Hookshot actually hits either the Familiars or his own teammate. I'm not actually sure which one that made contact with, but not the best hookshot in the world, but Select, other than that, has been doing a pretty nice job. Mech going to be used. QPanda now finally pressuring the first tower of the game, but they're actually just going to go ahead and back off. Alchemist is going to be up in about 10 seconds. They don't want to take the risk. They know the Darkseer wall is now going to be there. They know that they have the puck initiation. Waga, in the meantime, working his way towards that MKB. He's got 2 javelins in his inventory, and the rich basically get richer.
Yeah, and that MKB is going to help him out, getting that extra damage to be able to work through the Chemical Rage, as we see Shadowblade going in from Blow Your Brain, but he's going to get knocked away by the cogs as well as stunning himself. And a great cog coming out from Select. Like we were saying, that hookshot being a bit unlucky. I believe it actually hit the Familiar since it looked like they took some damage. But that would have been a great pickoff if they could have get the Keeper of the Light there standing in the Ancients instead. But didn't decide to push against the Keeper of the Light, and now Empire going for aggression instead, and Waga just running down straight away.
Initiation bottom, going to see a hook shot and an X plus Torrent onto Scandal. Now we're going to see Select getting counter initiated on. Here comes Puck. He does manage to land a little bit of the silence, but it's not going to matter. Currently a 1-for-1. Jerax down, Blow Your Brain down, Singh chasing down Silent at the moment. Is he actually going to be able to get the kill? Soul Assumption from the back does almost nothing, but Waga comes in to clean up the remaining kill as Select also dies in the engagement. Now Waga continuing to do a little bit of damage to Goblak. X brings it back with the Torrent, and there's going to be the Penitence and the Test of Faith. So Waga picks up yet another kill. That's a double kill for him, and not to mention that when he went mid, he actually got the Tier 1 tower on top of everything else.
Yeah, so getting a tower, 3 kills out of that, even though they lost their mid laner, or their off laner as well as one of the supports, they're going to be able to get 2 towers out of this, and killing off 3 people on the side of Empire, as well as Alchemist going down once again in a fight, and he's really falling behind right now. He's not too far behind in his creep kills, but just dying these many times over and over. It's going to really hurt his farm, as we see he's actually working his way toward an AC, but that's going to be delayed if he keeps on dying like this.
Well, if he does get the AC, that's going to help him out tremendously because he is very squishy. Alchemist is a hero who needs a lot of farm, and the only reason he really works in a lot of situations is because Greevil's Greed allows him to get that gold in the proper time frame. But as you said, he keeps dying. He's 0-3 right now. He's got a Shadow Blade, he's got the Plate Mail with the Hyperstone, but I just really haven't felt Boyarbrain's presence at all in these fights. A lot of that has to do with going Shadow Blade is really nice if you can make it work. If you can get the Unstable Concoction off while you're invisible and make the kills happen, then that's great. But they've had vision everywhere, and Empire has basically had none. We're going to see Sing catch out Boyarbrain in the jungle here. They do have sentries. Why wouldn't he? Jerax has been the counter-warding master all game, and they're going to be able to pick off Boyarbrain again as Wagga gets a solo kill on the Keeper of the Light and the north side of the river. So QPAD just seem to be picking apart Empire at this point.
Yeah, they're really getting some very good pick-off kills. And like you were saying, Alchemist going down once again, and they just keep on killing him off right now. And he's really the hero Empire needs to be able to stay alive in fights and just do as much damage as possible. As Select actually tries to go for a hook shot, but it's gonna miss it since Vigos was actually TPing out. But this should be an easy tower going the way of QPAD, and they might even be able to keep on going if they want to. Or we're actually gonna see two TPs coming in down towards bottom, so they're just gonna try and defend that tier 1 as well, and they're gonna be successful.
And QPAD also get the tier 1 top in the meantime, so they're continuing to get more map control, more gold going their way. Wagga just getting fatter and fatter as time goes on. He's got 2,700 gold. He has the MKB completely finished. His net worth is 14,000 at this stage, and the Alchemist is only at 9,000. Even Sing is out farming him at this stage, and that's with Greevil's Greed. So again, Empire's Alchemist pick not really working out for them. We can see that Sing is saving up for probably a Daedalus. He's very close to being able to buy it right now. He's got the Crystallis, he's got the Shadow Blade and the drums. Select working his way towards that pipe with his headdress and his hood. So everything is kind of just clicking right now for QPandas. And I got to say again, Jerax and Mini especially have been playing a phenomenal game. We see Vlad's picked up on the Chen now too. So they have basically every single team support item that you would ever need at just 27 minutes in.
Yeah, Jerax, as well as like you were saying, Mini playing very well. Mini being on top of those heals whenever it was needed. We're actually going to see a Dream Call going out on Select, but should be able to survive this. He's quite tanky, popping the pipe.
Oh, vacuum up to the high ground. Well done by Scandal. Select a little bit scared. Boat's going to connect on one. Does give Select a little bit of damage reduction for the moment. Just look at how tanky he is right now. Just getting an absolute beating done to him, and finally will fall. Looks like Mini was a little bit late with the mechanism, but he lived for an insanely long time. And that was with, what, 3 or 4 members of Empire just hitting him for a straight 10 seconds?
That just shows how tanky QPAD is right now. And then when you look over to the side of their 2 carries, having Sing with the Shadow Blade as well as Wagga having the backtrack on the Void, it's just going to make it so hard for Empire to be able to get kills, especially with Alchemist being this weak. He's got his AC up though, so his stack speed is going to come up, and he's going to get some minus armor as well, together with that acid spray. But it's still, is it going to be enough when you have a Shen with the mechanism, Hand of God? He's got level 2 Hand of God, working his way to level 16 to get the level 3 as well. And Mini really being on top with the sendbacks. He tried to go for a cheeky play there, trying to send back and get the mech. Mecha wasn't in time, Illuminate coming before and killing him off, but it's going to be very hard for Empire to get some good pickoffs. They're not out of it by any stretch, but it's still going to be very tough for them in fights, since their high impact hero Alchemist is getting picked off so much and is having a very hard game.
My concern for Empire is, if it took that long to kill Select, how are they going to kill Wagga? Like, how are they going to kill him with things like Backtrack? Sure, he's not going the tankiest build in the world. He will be going for a Butterfly. You can see Daedalus is completed now on Sing. He's just sending the courier around. He's got the Demon Edge on it. But when they go on him, and if he has the boat buff or anything like that, I seriously doubt they have the damage output to even take him down at all, especially with the mech and the Hand of God, as you had said. And this is looking pretty grim at the moment for Empire. The net worth of Wagga right now, 16,500, where Boyarbrain is actually starting to catch up a little bit. He's almost even of Sing right now. He's sitting at 12k, and then, of course, Sing getting closer to 13. And there's no vision at all of this Roshan attempt being done on the side of Empire. They probably have a good idea that they're down there, but they can't be 100% sure. And just look at how fast this Roshan is going to go down. They're going to give the Aegis to Wagga. And this next team fight from QPAD is going to be so unbelievably strong. Can Empire stop this push?
It's going to be a very good question. It looks like QPAD, like you were saying, going to try and go for a push, and it feels like even if they have Keeper of the Light trying to push out, are they going to be able to stop this? They got Pipe, they got Mech for the creep wave, and Waga can just jump on the Keeper of the Light if he actually sees him now.
Oh, it looks like he will go in, throws out the sphere. It's going to be a solo on Blow Your Brain. Look at how much damage he's doing. The blind comes out, but it doesn't matter because of the MKB. Disruption coming out from Jerax. Going to see a vacuum as well onto Waga, but is it going to be enough? Here comes the boat. It will connect on Scandal. Select Caught and Cogs with Godblack. It's the Thunderdome. There are 3 birds there, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter. He actually does end up going down to the Cog knockback. Select is going to make it home. He had 1 HP. The boat buff actually saves him. Illuminate going to hit. Pick off Waga. Aegis is going to be popped. Although Empire, they didn't lose their tower right there, and Keeper of the Light actually ends up getting the kill on Sing. So, as we were saying, that push was going to be really strong by QPAD as they end up getting pushed back.
They went for kills more than they actually went for that tower, and Godblack doing a lot of damage with him having 3 familiars up right now. Since he's being able to finish off that Aghanims, and they're actually chasing off the Jerax here, trying to see if they can get some kills. Waga jumping after to see if he can get some farm out of it instead, but still, picking off that Alchemist, even if they didn't get the tower and they lost Sing, it was a 1 fight by QPAD. They killed the Visage again, as well as they got the Alchemist, who are right now the two impact heroes in the game, especially Visage having that Aghanims, like I was saying, with the having 3 familiars. So a good fight again for QPAD, and they can just back out and keep on farming.
Well, Waga, he's got his butterfly done, and the big difference here is in the experience for sure. Look at that, almost 20,000 experience ahead of Empire right now. The gold a lot closer than I think a lot of people would imagine. It would be only sitting at about 7,500-ish, actually probably closer to 6,000. So Empire's not down and out, but they are definitely down. Waga securing himself a double damage in addition to his newly acquired butterfly, looking to try to pick somebody off, and the target seems to be the tier 2 again for QPAD, as they don't have an Aegis this time, but if the sphere actually hits a decent amount of targets, like I get prioritizing the Alchemist, it definitely makes sense. They picked him off. Look at how unbelievably fast this tower drops. Waga just going to leap out, throws out a Chronosphere, does hit Scandal right in the edge. Even the creeps able to do damage. Here comes the bow from the back. It will hit Godblack. He accidentally ran into the sphere. Godblack trying to make a forward tree here. Here comes Vigos with a counter initiation. Nice shockwave coming out of Mini. Manages to pick off Blow Your Brain once again, and the tier 2 tower is going to be falling. 3 for 0 exchange. Scandal, Blow Your Brain, Godblack, all down, and the GGs come out. Empire lose the first game against QPAD.
Just look at the HP of QPAD after that fight. Full HP on everybody still. Even getting hit by Illuminates once or twice. Just full HP constantly. And I like the decision Waga did there in the last fight. Going for Scandal instead, forcing or stopping him from getting the wall out. And you just saw, like, even if Alchemist had his Chemical Rage up and the AC, he just dropped like nothing because of the damage coming out of Waga and Sing. So just overall, very safe play by QPAD and just very well executed. Really exploiting the fact that Empire was running around quite a bit, just trying to look for kills, not really getting anything. And during that time, QPAD just farming on the 2 main heroes that they need to farm on.
Really nice performance. I don't think you could ask for more of a debut performance of a team. QPAD has managed to take out Empire. It's now 1-0. Of course, this is a best of 3, so we're going to have at the very least 1 more game for you guys. But before we get into game 2, we do have other people on this broadcast. Of course, Bruno, Scriff, what did you guys think of the game?
Well, it was really, really one-sided. I think that the QPAD Red Pandas... I'm fucking muted.
Well, apparently they're muted, so
No,
I will tide you guys over.
I'm not muted. You're muting me.
Okay, we don't know who's muted anymore.
Great. Yeah, I was saying it was really one-sided. I don't think that the QPAD Red Pandas could expect for a better debut.
No.
I'm sorry to tell that the people that were winning the poll, saying that Conca was going to be the one with most kills, unfortunately, Faceless Void took the top spot at the end with 8 kills, 0 deaths, 6 assists. That was a really impressive showcase by everyone. I think that the most impressive to me was Jerax. He was being everywhere. He dewarded pretty much everything. He was the playmaker in the team. Do you agree with me?
Together with Select, I'd say. Select was quite good with hitting his hooks, getting in, especially on the Keeper of the Light, and taking him out one or three times I think I saw him do that in total. And getting keeper out early in a team fight or push means they can't stop your push. So that was probably mine, as well as Singh getting the solo kill on Puck in middle is quite huge actually.
Well, we were talking about, I think Draskell mentioned before the matchup between Kanka and Puck seems to be really favorable to Kanka. And we show that that's the possibility. The thing about Puck is that eventually he gets really hard to kill, but with the boat damage into a torrent, into an X, it makes it so that if Puck is not being perfectly there, that was hard to say, if Puck is just not there, he can just kill you immediately. At level 7, one torrent into boat, into splash from the Kanka damage, and the Puck is dead. Yes. And the Puck cannot do the same to the Kanka, because Kanka has naturally high HP, and because of the items he's going for, Puck doesn't have that easy matchup that he can have with other heroes such as Invoker of Queen of Pain.
Yeah, and as you said, the X marks the spot really screws with Puck's ability to move out with the orb or with a blink dagger. Right. Because you just get sucked back then. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So this was very good for the QPAD Red Pandas, but this was only game 1. Are you joining game 2 already, I think?
I think I should.
Yeah, you should.
The lobby's already hosted. I got your back.
Great.
I love you.
So, well, before actually starting game 2, I think we should talk a little bit more about Team Empire, if Trans wants to, which is
here we go.
With, let's go, the smoke.
Smoke! Smoke! Smoke!
So that's
if I get the correct one.
Yeah.
Is it this one?
Yes, good one, Trans. We're talking a little bit more about Team Empire. As you all know, the team is composed by the players Vigos, Blow Your Brain, Scandal, Go Black, and not Sochka. Why is Sochka there? That's my fault. Yeah, I know, I made that. That's definitely not Sochka playing. Yeah, good one.
First I actually said that before we went live.
You shouldn't have said anything. No one would have noticed.
Yeah, no. I like to point my own mistakes because I want to make myself a better person. But anyways, disregarding that part. Empire recently, in the last 3 months, we talked about them a little bit in their match between Virtus Pro. But they seem to be doing really, really good with Wisp. I mean, also with Rubik, of course, they are 3-0. But I mean, it's just 3 games, so you can't make just a better understanding just from 3 games. Wisp might be something that Empire might be interested in playing. They're really good. Their CK is also really good. They do not seem to do well with Shadow Demon, Phantom Lancer, and Lone Druid. We did not see them this game, so it's no excuse for them. Interestingly, they weren't facing any of the heroes they're either best against or worst against. So I think the only thing we can extract from here is maybe if they can get that Wisp pick, that Darkseer pick, which is also really good. 20 and 6 is really hard to get with a Darkseer or any.
20 and 7 now.
20 and 7 now, that's right.
Dang,
that didn't work. So yeah, well, Empire has to make something different in the next game to make things happen and make things happen. And the interesting thing is that because the QPAD Red Pandas are such a new team, how do you counterpick them? I mean, you can't know what they're going to do because it's not like other teams that you see them playing day after day and you know what they're doing. Yeah. So, will they go for the same? Will they go for the Kanka mid and do like the Sing's favorite hero? Will they try something different? Maybe they'll go Bloodseeker safe lane. Who knows?
I don't know about that, man. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Bloodseeker. But I think what hurt them the most is just the lack of vision. They had a Puck. They had every hero they needed to initiate. They had a Shadow Blade on the Alchemist, but they just couldn't see anything for like the entire game. There was one stint to, I think, what was it, like the 8 to 15 minute mark where they had a little bit of vision mid. Yeah. But that was it. They didn't have anything else. So how do you play aggressive when you don't know where your enemies are? And their counter initiation is superb. They have Chronosphere, they have Boat, they have Torrent. How do you engage into
Disruption?
That? Yeah, Disruption as well. So I feel in a sense that the way that they played it, their picks were a little bit better than what Empire had. Not to say that Empire didn't have a chance, but they had to, I think, out-execute QPandas, and it just didn't happen. But we are waiting for game number 2, and I'm not sure if we're actually taking a break between games or not. Waiting for the guy who's making a face at me right now to confirm. Okay, so we're going to keep on going. So we're just waiting for the game to start here. I think we have everybody inside of the lobby. But
check if everyone's ready.
Predictions for game 2? Anybody?
I'm still saying that QPAD Red Pandas will take this series 2-0. They've been very, very convincing so far. And, I mean, now Empire will have to be more scared of them. It's just not a new team. And actually, I have to mention, this was Select's first pro game ever.
In Dota 2.
In Dota
Dota
2,
2,
right?
yes.
Because he hasn't ever like
In Dota 1.
No, sorry. Well, he played
he
Dota
played
and he
with-
played with Merlini.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Like
Merlini's team.
one or two games. I
One or
think.
two games.
He played a 4PL. I think he did,
Yeah.
but that's still.
But well, now in a proper, like, not to say that it's not in a proper, but he's now not a stand-in. He's part of the proper team that's going to be playing together, hopefully for a long time. And I think he did really well.
Yeah.
We have to be really happy about that. And good luck for next games. Also for Empire, get your act together. Show us what Russian Dota is all about. We want to see 40 kills in 20 minutes and maybe
More
like that.
aggression.
Yeah, more aggression.
He was
More.
very passive
Yeah.
in the early game. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. I think if Empire can put up the aggression just a bit, they will be able to contest the game and maybe make an even point of trying to get the second game of the series.
Yeah.